Every great civilization begins with a great story. For Rome, it starts not with facts, but with a legend. According to Roman mythology, around 753 BCE, a woman named Rhea Silvia, a priestess of the goddess Vesta, gave birth to twin sons, Romulus and Remus. But their birth was dangerous. Their grandfather, the rightful king, had been overthrown by a cruel uncle who feared the twins would grow up and reclaim the throne. So the uncle ordered the babies to be killed. But as stories go, the gods had other plans. The twins were placed in a basket and left to drift down the Tiber River. They were found and miraculously nursed by a she-wolf in a cave called the Lupercal. Later, a shepherd named Faustulus found and raised them. As they grew, Romulus and Remus became strong and bold. Eventually, they discovered their royal origins and decided to found a new city where they were saved as babies. But the story takes a dark turn. The two brothers argued over where to build the city and, in a tragic end, Romulus killed Remus. Romulus then founded the city and named it Rome after himself. Dat to remember. Rome was traditionally founded in 753 BCE. While this story is myth, it tells us how the Romans saw themselves as tough, divinely protected, and born out of struggle. Rome's founding myth shaped its identity, brave, aggressive, and chosen by the gods. Part 2, the Roman Republic, democracy before the empire. Now let's leave the world of myths and step into history. Fast forward about 250 years after the legendary founding of Rome, around 509 BCE, the Romans made a bold decision. They overthrew their king and said goodbye to monarchy. They created a new system of government called the Republic. What is a republic? In Latin, res publica means the public thing. It was a system where power was not in the hands of a king, but in the hands of the people, or at least the citizens of Rome. Let's break down how it worked. The structure of the Roman Republic. 1. Consuls. 2 consuls were elected each year. They were like co-presidents. They led the army and ran the government. Each consul could veto the other, so no one became too powerful. 2. Senate. The Senate was made up of around 300 wealthy men called patricians. They gave advice to the consuls and made decisions on laws, finances, and foreign affairs. Over time, the Senate became very powerful. 3. Assemblies. These were groups where citizens could vote. But there was a catch. Not everyone had equal power. Wealthy classes had more votes, and many people, especially women and slaves, had none. So yes, it was a kind of democracy, but only for a few. Patricians versus plebeians. Rome was divided into 2 main social classes. Patricians, the elite, land-owning families. Plebeians, the common people, farmers, workers, and traders. Plebeians had fewer rights at first, but over time, they fought for more power. They even walked out of the city in protest, an act called the Secessio Plebis. Eventually, they gained the right to elect their own leaders, called tribunes, who could protect plebeian rights and veto unfair laws. This led to the 12 Tables, Rome's first written laws, carved into bronze tablets and placed in the forum so everyone could see them. Why does this matter? Because it was one of the earliest examples in world history of law being made public and citizens having a voice, a foundation that influenced many governments that came after. So let's recap. Rome's origin story with Romulus and Remus shows how the Romans thought of themselves, strong, chosen, and born from conflict. The Roman Republic was one of history's first experiments in shared power, where leaders were elected, laws were written, and citizens had a role, even if only some of them. This early phase of Roman history shaped everything that followed: the wars, the empire, even the fall. Stay tuned for the next level of our journey through Roman history, where we'll explore daily life in the Republic, how Romans lived, what they ate, what they wore, and how they saw the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. What surprised you most about Rome's beginnings? See you next time on Foundations of Rome.